round 3 of the LUNk Communiqué, although this might only be round 2 on the website. We had a little problem last week, and we're hoping that it comes out a little better this week. And it's holiday time, so Merry Christmas, Happy Solstice, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you practice, whoever you are. We had our first... Festivus.
For the rest of them.
So we had our first feedback on this. We had our first feedback in response to the first show, and somebody want to talk about that?
Shout out to Luis. You are awesome. Our listener. Thank you.
We have at least one.
For paying attention.
We have at least 2 more. Come on, Monty.
Oh, no.
Now, who did... No, seriously, but Luis actually had a suggestion for us to start a show around.
She would like for us to be talking about the Christmas and the many consumerist aspects of the Christmas. What are the many consumerist aspects of the Christmas, Brian?
Well, there's definitely a lot of advertising trying to get people to buy things. A lot of advertising directed towards children because they will nag their parents into buying them things. There's just every Christmas season there's just this trend that you go out and you buy as much as you can. It's basically just part of the American culture.
Buy more than you can.
Yeah.
Credit. All right.
It's funny too. I mean, I was watching the comedian Lewis Black recently, and he was sort of a nostalgic, good old days sort of thing. It's just, when I was a kid, Christmas was Christmas, and Halloween was its own holiday, and Santa Claus wasn't sticking his fat ass into it. We didn't actually do our introductions.
My name is Monty, and that's Jackson.
I'm Jackson.
This is Andrew.
Brian.
And we've been joined on and off by Sheba the cat, our mascot.
Who wanders in and out.
Because she's a cat.
So Santa Claus didn't used to stick his fat ass into... What does he mean by that?
This whole idea, the Christmas season seems to start earlier and earlier every year because we've been sort of programmed into going into this hyperactive consumerist explosion, just feeding frenzy as soon as the Christmas music starts taking over commercial radio stations.
Sheba wants out.
But yeah, I mean,
status report. Sheba is outside. Christmas, okay.
Christmas, and it's just like
Sheba is now in and on the chair. Christmas!
You can see that we're really having a tough, boring time this afternoon.
Well, maybe we should talk about why this is a tough subject. Because the thing is, none of us here are religious in any way at all. So it's difficult. It's difficult as much as we would like to defend Christmas from something. And Christmas is consumerism.
Yeah.
So it's kind of difficult for us anyway to separate like what we should be celebrating it for from what it's being accused of becoming.
Do you guys celebrate Christmas?
I mean, my family celebrated Christmas, and I think there is a case to make for a secular Christmas. I mean, it's just sort of an end of the year celebration. You get together with your friends and your family, and you get a little bit of time off from work if you're remotely fortunate. Obviously, a lot of people don't, but I work for the state, so I get a couple weeks off.
Well, in my experience with my family and extended family, you go to church for Christmas, you put up some tacky knickknacks, and you thank God, and that's your religious holiday for you. Most of the time, you're just hanging out with your family, presents, food.
It's always, in my family, it's always been basically a secular celebration. There was never really any religious aspect to it. wasn't raised to be any religion, so I don't ever really associate it with religion at all.
There was never any. I mean, we celebrate it still, but there's no religious aspect whatsoever. There's actually no real consumerist aspect whatsoever. We put up some pretty lights and we eat a lot.
Yeah.
That's about it.
And I have a Christmas tree in my house, but that's not. Some people think that's a Christian tradition, but it's not. And that's another tradition that is traced back to the pagan Yule festival. So it's not like all of these symbols that we see are overtly Christian symbols. They were kind of co-opted by the Christian celebration, but they're not inherently Christian symbols. So I don't know. I guess there is, my parents always had a hard time scraping up money to get presents for everyone. And I think that's the way it is with a lot of families. A lot of people, it's a hard time of the year for them because there is this trying to keep up with everybody else and trying to make your children happy and make sure that you have enough money to buy a gift for everyone. And it seems like that the holiday really has been commercialized in that respect, that it's become a holiday of purchasing and buying and not one of just spending time with your family or people you care about. It's about buying stuff.
Now, I just heard this commercial that I'm not going to specify the store, but they said, "Come have your Christmas cheaper at our store."
At Walmart.
There you go. The branding worked on Monty, obviously.
I just made a guess.
It's so obvious. That's how everything works, though.
Yeah, and
I do think that there is. I mean, Christmas time is considered the time when it's okay to be an ultra uber consumerist. It's like during the rest of the year, you're supposed to sort of not be consumerist.
Frugal.
Like it's like, but still like.
For those of us outside of New Orleans, Mardi Gras is December. That's our big month-long party when we coming out.
Well, it's almost as though like consumerism is like you're supposed to be consumerist all throughout the rest of the year, or you're not supposed to be, and I don't really know how to explain this.
I mean, I would sort of say though, it's just. I mean, there are these competing interests. Obviously, there is this particularly sort of a middle-class fixation on frugality, on being intelligent and rational and, resisting impulse buying. But at the same time, and obviously that's an important impulse for someone who obviously exists in a world that's finite, in a world where it's difficult to make ends meet. But obviously, on the other side of the things, obviously the marketers, the advertisers, are trying to tell us to consume all the time. You need to have, you can't keep clothes year to year. You just got a new wardrobe every year.
Yeah.
You got to have the hottest product. You got to have the biggest, clearest, high definition TV. You got to have a Blu-ray player, man.
Yeah.
Is the picture? I mean, the picture might be 20% better than a standard DVD, and you'll spend 5 times as much on it. But I mean, you'll get the girls, man. if you want to impress the ladies, you got to have the Blu-ray player.
No, if you want girls, you got to
car.
drink beer. Beer's the way to go.
Well, that seems to
Ryan,
me.
do you drink beer for Christmas?
Of course.
While watching Blu-ray?
But that seems to be the definition of consumerism, at least for me, is basically this belief that we can sort of buy happiness and that our possessions will make us happy.